So yeah, and to everyone again, thank you guys for attending, and I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, uh, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy everything. Um, Couple of questions here. So this for you new people, again, I saw in the chat. So number one is, to me, this is important. Remember that whatever your goal is, it's a journey to get to the goal. So you're not going to just wake up, in most cases, tomorrow and hit the goal of whatever you set for the next 12, 13, 14, 15 months or anything like that, right? It's going to be a journey. It's kind of like running a hurdles race. You have to jump over each hurdle before you get to the finish line. So one of the things that I would tell you too is to begin to enjoy jumping over each hurdle and embrace that. I remember that the more you do your lead generation, the more that you do your prospect, your marketing, whatever it is you do, you're building your database, you're building your business, the more fruits of that labor you'll be able to get down the road. And you'll get to a point here to where you're working smarter versus harder. Another thing, so you're going to hear, and then I'm going off a little bit off of what our original topic was, but you'll hear coaches, you'll hear trainers talk about this. And I'm not going to say I disagree with them. I'm going to say from my experiences, I think that for me, this helps my mindset a little bit better. As a human being myself, as a former athlete and getting in this business very young, is that I tend to dwell on the things that I did wrong or the negative things more than the positive. And you'll hear the terms of fail forward and so many no's, means you're going to get a yes, and all of that stuff. And I'm not going to say any of that stuff is incorrect. But one thing I feel is very important that is not spoken on or talked about enough is, instead of focusing on what you do wrong or the negative stuff, do as much as you can to focus on what you've done right and what you're doing well at. And then put more energy into that. So I know a lot of people tell you to put more energy into the negative stuff to get out of the negative stuff and learn from it. And all that is real good, but I don't think it's spoken on enough to focus on the things that you do really good. If you're doing something and it is getting you positive reviews from your clients, but getting you additional opportunities to meet with buyers or sellers, maybe it's via marketing, maybe it's via door knocking, maybe it's whatever it is, maybe you put more energy into that and not focus on the stuff that you're not doing as good at to bring it up. Maybe you delegate that stuff. Maybe you just do so much more on the things that you are really good at. You accentuate the positive, and maybe, just maybe, not only will you enjoy your journey a little bit more, but maybe it'll get you where you want to go a little bit faster. Okay. Let's see. How do I stay positive? Well, for me, I do believe one in affirmations. I've done affirmations forever. I think that affirmations do work. I think that they can build your soul. I think that you need to be able to pull into something on those days when things are getting bad. Some of you have heard, and I won't go through the whole story now, but there was a year that Florida, and we opened the year up in January. We opened like 9 escrows right off the bat, and everything looked really, really great. And all 9 of those escrows gone. When you have a situation like that, and at that time I was doing a lot of cold calling, still a lot of expires for sale by notice. You know what? It can bring you. It can be a negative. It can really bring you down while you're going out looking for that next deal, trying to stay positive, talking about that because you don't spend the money ahead of time. But no matter what you think about it, I mean, be real about it. Think about it, and if you think about it, and things don't go the way you want to, it's very easy to get into a slump. It's very easy to say, I don't feel like calling this morning. I don't feel like doing that this morning. It's very easy to do those things. So in getting out of that slump, what I've done is, over the years, have learned to say affirmations. I don't do it as much as I should now, but I used to do it every morning, every morning, and I would do it every time I would feel, kind of in a slump, or things weren't going the way I wanted them to go, or I wasn't feeling good about it. Obviously, reading and or listening to positive motivational things. I still do. I do a lot of it by YouTube now. I used to do a lot of it by CDs. Have CDs in my computer when I'm doing my thing with in the background. You'd hear some Napoleon Hill, or you hear some Earl Nightingale, and it wasn't so much that I was concentrating on it, but it was getting into my subconscious. So that was helpful, and that worked as well. One thing I think that is underappreciated is if things aren't going well, particularly if you're having maybe a difficult client, a difficult transaction. It's amazing how much better you can feel if you make a quick call out or a quick text out nowadays to a client or a customer who has maybe become a friend or is just extremely happy and grateful for the job that you did for them, so that you can remember that there are people that appreciate what you've done and people that appreciate the efforts and the work that you put into helping them and their families. Okay, so that's something that at least that I've done over the years. Let's see in the chat box how many. Well, I think that the question in the chat box was how many people do you need to talk to, per day, or how many do I talk to, or whatever. The bottom line is what your goal is. Is what your goal is. And for those of you that are on the call that are newer agents, or maybe newer agents, like brand new agents, or maybe you're redoing your career, and maybe you took a long pause during the pandemic and you're trying to get back into it. I personally think that the majority of your time, I think that 75 to 80% of your time, or whatever that is that you are putting into real estate, should be done in some sort of a lead generating, prospecting based marketing type of a situation that helps you build your database. I think you need to be reaching out and talking to as many people as you can per day. Obviously, you can break that down to what your goals are, but if you're going to be working in real estate, say you don't have any open escrows, or you have very few, or you don't have any immediate prospects, you need to really be building your business or rebuilding your business. So if you spend 80% of your time between lead generating, following up, and that can be in the forms of personal notes, letters, texts, videos, phone calls, whatever the case may be, you need to be spending the majority of your time doing that. And as your appointments increase, and as your business begins to increase, still keep that as your focus. You just reduce the amount of time that you're doing it and get focused with it and be as efficient as it is possible. So if you're working an 8-hour day and you don't really have anything going on, 80% of that 8 hours, in my opinion, should be spent on some sort of lead generating, business building activity. And if you do that, eventually the time that you're going to be able to do that is going to decrease, because you're going to have other things that you need to do, because you're going to be working directly with clients. Also, is that you should spend time, particularly when you're brand new or newer, on your education, and making sure that you get up to date with different forms and different procedures and all of that. Oh, and and lastly, and I guess I should put a percentage of this, because I kind of count this as part of your lead generation stuff, is to know what to say. Feel very comfortable knowing what to say, knowing your scripts, your dialogues, and objection handlers. And again, I know that old school is you learn a script and you just stay on the script. I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with that, because the people that you're talking to don't know it's a script. I think, to me, what's better is that you kind of get into an understanding of learning the questions, the concerns, what we'll call objections, that people will have, so that you can, versus doing scripts with them, you can have a conversation. Now, you can control the conversation because you already know what their concerns are going to be. You know they're going to want to pay a certain amount of commission, or that they're not going to want to do repairs, or they only have a certain amount for down payments. Whatever those things are, you should be able to engage in an honest dialogue with your potential client. But you also have to learn what to say, so that when you're discussing this, you're not kind of like not like lost. And of course, there's nothing wrong with saying you don't know when you'll get back to someone. Okay. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming on earlier, and hopefully this helps and answers some of your questions. Again, wishing everybody happy holidays. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy your families. Thanks a lot for working with us here at Yeldon and Paul Walker team, coming to the videos, the meetings, and God bless.